And welcome back. The next thing we want to add into our game is some background music. And to do that, we went over here to opengameart.org. It has a lot of great resources. And went to browse and then went down to music to go ahead and find it. You can see we have other things that we can use here. So just again, another one of many sites that you can use. And I went ahead and added some couple filters since we're doing music. I hit that. And of course, we also have CCO, so it's copyright free. And then we have a couple different options that pop up here. You can see we have pages and pages. We can also search for it. But I think I'm going to go ahead and choose some different themes here. So let's go ahead and take a look at these. And the nice thing is before you download these, you can go ahead and press play on these. And so you can get a preview of them. And then once you're ready, you can go ahead and download that song so you can go ahead and get that into your game. So once you have those assets imported in here, you can go ahead and just import it like you would any other asset. You, of course, can also have them here, and you can also preview them as well. If you don't see the preview window here, it might be minimized. You can just drag that up, and then we can go ahead and press play to go ahead and, again, preview those so we can get a preview of what this audio will actually sound like in our game. Now, previously, we had worked with our audio player, and we had added in a bunch of different things. Now, the thing about, like, these are kind of one-shot audios, which means it's going to play it once, but we want something that's going to be a little bit more of a looping effect. So we're actually going to go ahead and not use our audio player here, but we're going to add a component, and that is going to be an audio source. And so when you click that, we, of course, are adding that right here into our game world. We're not going to worry about the 3D sound settings because we're focusing it in 2D, but instead we can go ahead and focus here on the audio clip itself. So I'm going to go ahead and drag an audio source on into our clip. And the other thing we want to do is look at cover our settings here. We want the play on awake checked because that means it's going to start with our game. We are also going to want to have that loop so that way we can have the audio continue to play. And of course we have other things that we can pass around here, but the most important thing is probably our volume. So we can, of course, control that and set that however we want. I'm probably going to, for now, let's say, start it right around 70% volume. And we, of course, can adjust that from there. And there's other things, again, you can go in here and play around with. But, of course, one thing you may want if you ever decide to advance this is, of course, you can see we have things like our mute option, which could be a very important thing if you need to, for example, mute the audio for a certain scene. So now that that is in our game, let's go ahead and press play. And one of the things you'll notice is that we now have our music here, and it even having that music adds a whole nother element to our game world here that we can now use to help really change the feel and presentation of our game. But I think that's a good start there to go ahead and, again, keep adding things that make the player experience much more rich. And we can use that to kind of start thinking about what other things can we do for a game. Or maybe if you're an advanced coding, say, here's how I have one sound, but maybe I want something that where the music changes. For example, if there's a boss or we have low health. Those are things to keep in mind as you go ahead and start working on your game. And you start thinking about what kind of presentation you're going to have in your final product.